Hello and welcome back to Foos Entertainment. This time for 2003's The Matrix Reloaded. It's the exclusive artwork for this particular one. Want to see what the box set looks like? Go to the previous video when I reviewed The Matrix. And of course the back of it is just your basic back, obviously. Alright. Well, I'm gonna not do the Agent Smith montage on this one, but expect to see more of that tomorrow when I review The Matrix Revolutions. Just too many one-liners in that one that I just can't pass up. Alright, well let's talk about this. Alright, my opinion of this movie. This will be the additional one because, it's already been established what is the Matrix, so I don't have to do that. I can make this a lot quicker. Alright, my opinion of the film. I thought this film was brilliant, just like the first one. I do understand why everybody has a problem with The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions due to the CGI animation. But, people, this is 2003. And both films were filmed back to back, so they're both 2003 films. I don't have a problem with the CGI in this movie. I think it's quite good. The martial arts action sequences, the gun sequences, the stunt sequences are top-notch and very thrilling. I would say everybody's in top game in this movie. In a lot of ways, I actually, despite how much I love The Matrix Revolutions, I actually like The Matrix Reloaded even more than The Matrix Revolutions. And, just like the first Matrix film, my introduction to this movie was on VHS. That's for all three films, I might add. I didn't watch them on DVD until much later. And then eventually on Blu-ray. Well, let's go ahead and apply the film. Alright. Picking up, I say, doesn't really tell you, but I'm guessing a couple of years, maybe 3 years after the events of the first film. Our heroes, Neo, Morpheus, Trinity, are pretty much, can't get in touch with the Oracle. When they feel that the end game is coming with a pending attack on the last human city, Zion. Last human city of the future. By an army of sentinels. To where there's so many sentinel killing robots that machines for each man, woman, and child that exist in Zion. Neo gets a uncanny visit from Mr. Smith, Agent Smith, and finds out that despite destroying despite destroying Agent Smith in the last film, Agent Smith did not get deleted. His program did not get deleted, but took on a life of his own, and he has the ability to copy himself and act almost like a virus in his own right of plaguing anything and everything around him. And that's where the fun really begins, really, in my opinion, is the introduction of Agent Smith becoming like this replicator type of thing in this film, to where he just replicates himself over and over and over and over. Puts out some pretty cool fight sequences, I might add. And of course, they had to try to fulfill the prophecy of the One, which was established in the first film. And they had tracked down this individual program known as the Keymaker to get to a sacred door known as the source of the Matrix, so that Neo can save humanity. In doing so, Neo finds out that it's all about choice. Either let Trinity die and go through one door and save the human race, but also condemn the human race to being puppets to a yet another era of control by starting it all over again like a rebooted computer, to replay the events all over again, or to go through the door to save Trinity from her pending demise, which will result in the destruction of the entire human race. Obviously, he saves Trinity. But what Neo said to Morpheus is that if I would have done what prophecy would have said, he didn't say the exact words, but pretty much just means the same thing, it would just have been a lie and just another game of control. In the film's climax shows Morpheus' ship, Nebuchadnezzar, being destroyed, and Neo holding off a bunch of Sentinels trying to attack him, in which he goes into a coma. And then it has a big to be continued. And there's also a little bit of a cliffhanger due to the fact that Agent Smith actually replicated himself in the real world too, in the skies. And what will happen next? Well, you will have to wait and see tomorrow when I review The Matrix Revolutions if you have not seen these films. If you've seen these films, you know what's going to happen next, but I'll talk about it anyways. Keeping the business as usual. Let's talk about the quality. I just have to say that what I said yesterday is just. It would be a bigger experience if I did have high dynamic range and Dolby Vision in 4K 2190 resolution on my projector. That said, because I got a couple of minutes we can talk about this, when you remaster an older movie into 4K UHD, sometimes it's pretty impressive, and that's certainly the case with the Matrix films. Even without having a UHD television or projector, but just having a UHD Blu-ray disc player like I do, you can see all the hard work they did remastering these films, because it's there. The higher detail, the brighter color, the better contrast is all there, with or without it being in actual 4K playback with HDR and Dolby Vision. And then there's titles to where it is not there because without the HDR and Dolby Vision, you're really not getting anything. And then there's cases to where they just didn't care about the remastering and it looks like crap no matter what, which is not often. Most of the time 4K is definitely worth the upgrade. And that's certainly the case with The Matrix Reloaded. Just like The Matrix, it is spectacular looking. Lots of a difference. And this is the truest you've ever seen these movies since they were at the cinema during their theatrical release. The original remastering for these films altered the movies in every fucking way. What's cool about the 4K releases is they're taken from the original 35mm prints of the films, which means that it's the truest form you're ever going to see. Now, as for the Dolby Atmos remix presentation, this is insane. Just like the first film, I would say that the second movie, The Matrix Reloaded, is probably more insane on overhead effects and projectile effects than the first film is. And keep in mind that none of these films had Dolby Atmos, and the primary sound source playback in theatrical theaters was Dolby Digital 5.1. They had DTS 5.1, but the primary sound playback was Dolby Digital 5.1. The Dolby Atmos is just insane. They did an amazing job on these films, and I have to say that I'm looking forward to watching tomorrow's, because I think that the Matrix Reloaded was insane with the Dolby Atmos. They really definitely surprised me, shocked me with that. And like I say, is I definitely dig this box set. I definitely dig watching these movies. I kind of skimmed from when I got the box set, but I didn't actually watch the movies. Now I'm doing it. I'm pretty happy with what I've seen. And I do hope that you guys have been enjoying this experience with me. Granted, me talking about my experience, I say. But if you guys are interested in getting the Matrix trilogy in 4K, I would definitely get it. And I will see you guys next time for my review of The Matrix Revolutions. Until then.